Ein Weg geht's hin, ein Weg geht zurück. Ach, die schönen Klänge der Musik auf weiter Reise. Buschwerk! Oh Gott. Warte mal, da habe ich gerade einen Weg gesehen, glaube ich. Ja, da. Okay, never mind. Ich habe den Weg verloren. Ja, Pebbles! Du schaffst es, hoch den Berg. Ah, guter Junge. Ich bin übrigens sehr erleichtert, dass ich nicht darauf achten muss, dass ich Pebbles fütter. Ja, Speed! Oh. Ich habe ein bisschen zu viel Speed gegeben, zu lange Speed gegeben. Ich bin wieder einigermaßen gerade über den Berg. Wo war denn die Furt? Ich glaube in diese Richtung so ein bisschen. Ich kann auch drüber schwimmen. Und da ist doch was. Na, ich wollte sagen, ich kann doch drüber schwimmen und Pebbles wieder anpfeifen lassen. Auf der anderen Seite, aber ich muss ja rein logisch mich nicht nass machen, und wenn ich es vermeiden kann. Zum Beispiel so. Yay. Sehr gut. Sehr gut. So.
Ja.
Go, go, Pebbles. Go, go, Power Pebbles. Dudum. Oh Gott, da hört's auf. Hilfe! Ich meine, Pebbles. Bitte. Pebbles, bitte. Jetzt hat das. Ach hier, und Pebbles, diesmal springst du bitte nicht, während wir uns unter einem Torbogen befinden. Zum Beispiel dem da. Ja? Bitte bleib ganz ruhig. Ja, gut, Pebbles, sehr schön. Und schau mal, wer da ist. Die haben offensichtlich wirklich nicht viel zu tun. Moin, Freunde.
Hey, what a face.
The monastery from... Oh ja, das ist eine Frage, okay.
The monastery wants you to pay for treatment. That doesn't sound right.
Leave it be, Howell.
I won't. What happened?
We might have pummeled his face. But don't get involved, Henry. We'll settle it on our own.
Fritz, bitte.
Wait, who exactly did you pummel?
Well, he kept on bothering us and... in a nutshell, it was his fault and we're not going to talk about it anymore.
But couldn't there be a way to settle it? Maybe he'd let you off the...
There isn't.
If you say so.
Alright, if you say so.
Goodbye.
Matthew, was hat ihr gemacht? Okay.
The miller and Ledechko would be happy to meet you.
You really found work for us?
Of course. You couldn't bear to look at those sour faces of yours a moment longer.
Thanks, Henry. Only
What?
the reward we talked about, well, we haven't got 2 groschen to rub together.
Ach, du, ich würde das auch... Ich würde es auch ohne machen. Was?
Yeah, that doesn't matter. You'll pay me when you have it.
That we will. Stop by and visit us in a week. We'll pay you back as soon as we get our first wage.
Okay, wo wir hier gerade sind. Ne? Wir haben ja noch Zeit bis zum Abend. Questlog. costly brawl. Find out why Fritz and Matthew owe the monastery. Das kriegen wir hin, das werden wir tun. Sure. Ja, die gehen zu Fuß los, alles klar, das kann ja Gott sei Dank gar nicht lange dauern. Karte. Die Monastery. Wo zum Geier ist die Monastery? Das ist Theresa. Das da ist das Banditenlager. Wo ist die Monastery? Das ist der Typ. Es muss doch... The Monastery. Sassau ist die Monastery. Questgiver, Scribe, das sind alles Stände, Trader, Baths, Grindstone, Weaponsmith, Lodgings. Monastery, da ist es doch. Nee, kein Fast Travel für die kleine Distanz. Okay.
Ja.
Zeit, Informationen einzuholen. Ich hoffe, ich bin richtig abgebogen. Hier kann ich rein.
Ja.
So. Ich konnte mit dem Begriff Monastery jetzt gerade nichts anfangen, deswegen... ja, kann ich hier rein? Lockpick, nein. You don't know about the brawl with the monk. Hat er Augen?
You wouldn't happen to know about a brawl that happened here not long ago. Apparently it involved two carpenters who were being treated here. And they were fighting with a monk?
A monk? I've no idea.
Can I take a look inside the monastery?
What's got into you, boy? The grounds inside the monastery belong to the monks of the Order of Saint Benedict. No others shall pass.
Dachte ich mir schon fast. Wenigstens hat nicht angefangen mit, was ist denn? Du willst unser Heiligtum entweihen. Ladida, habe ich jetzt noch erwartet. Gott, vielleicht hat der was gesehen.
Good health to you.
Oder der wurde verprügelt.
You wouldn't happen to know about a brawl that happened here not long...
I don't have a clue.
You're all fucking useless. Okay, hier ist gerade einer reingegangen. Oh. Alter, wie sieht denn das hier aus? Philip from Skellets. Kenn ich dich? Thomas.
He just needs to sleep.
Gut. Hannes from Skellets. Das sind alles Skellets, Leute. Coryman Samek.
I can't stay here.
Johanka.
Johanka?
Die kenne ich doch.
Henry?
I'm glad to see you.
Me too. I heard that you're doing well.
Well, that depends.
You're alive. So you're doing well.
What's happening here? Oh my god. Philip and... they're all...
Yes. Where do you think the wounded ended up?
Actually, I had no idea.
Well, now you know. Me and Nicodemus have been trying to keep things under control since Skalitz was raised. Just the two of us.
War Philipp der Dritte bei uns im Bunde? Also der Vierte? Ich glaube nicht, oder?
So can I help at all?
Certainly. We can always use an extra pair of hands here. And it's been like that since the beginning.
I was in a bad way myself back then. They took me to Rattay unconscious, and I needed a healer. How is everyone holding up? What can I do?
Holding up? People here are dying, usually needlessly, and I can't do anything about it. We don't have enough food or space or anyone who's willing to help us.
Ich bin zumindest willing.
Doesn't anyone help you with nursing these people? You've got scholars all around you.
Scholars, maybe, but they leave the healing up to God.
Ach, toll.
Nicodemus is trying, but everything he knows is from his books.
Brother Nicodemus? Who's he?
He takes care of the injured. He knows something about herbs and a little about setting broken bones.
And is he good at it?
He tries, but he doesn't have much experience.
Doesn't the monastery care for them?
They give us some food for them and a place to sleep, but I wouldn't say they help exactly. More like they just tolerate us.
Das sind ja tolle
Anything
Leute.
else you need?
Look around.
Well, it is a little crowded.
Crowded. I've had to leave some of the sick lying in the open air, even at night. And have you seen what they're lying on?
I'll try to negotiate better conditions with the monastery.
I tried that, out loud. They just nod their heads, but don't move a muscle.
Do you have enough food?
No.
Enough to survive, maybe. But convalescents need feeding up.
Maybe if I brought some meat, some game, that would strengthen them up.
That would be a great help.
Okay.
Very well. And how are you doing? You're the only woman here, alone in the monastery.
Some of the monks speak to me, but other people act like I don't exist. Too bad the custodian isn't one of those.
Is the custodian causing you problems?
All the time. Apparently he has a wife somewhere, but that doesn't stop him. He's constantly strutting around in front of me.
And, what else?
What do you mean, what else? He's invited me to his home.
I could do something about it, if you liked.
No, I can deal with him. The last thing I need is you going around threatening people. It won't help me, and it definitely won't help the refugees.
Ich denke, vielleicht haben Fritz und Matthew den Typen vermöbelt, weil er ihr da ans Fleisch wollte. Könnte ich mir vorstellen.
What can you tell me about the custodian?
He's supposed to be in charge of all the guards and the security of the monastery. But really, he has a say in pretty much everything, including supplies. And that's why he probably thinks he can do whatever he wants.
Ja, das klingt sehr danach.
Why is there a guard outside?
He's here because of me.
Because of you?
Yes. There was one time I just had enough of it all, of the way they treat us, and I almost slapped one of... But that doesn't matter.
All right, that's all I need to know.
Look, Henry, I know I can speak harshly, but I'm at the end of my tether. Last week Bohuslav died. Maybe you knew him. And nobody even blinked an eye. We desperately need help.
I'll do whatever's in my power. You wouldn't happen to know what Fritz and Matthew did here, would you?
Don't even talk to me about that. They weren't badly injured compared to most of the others here, and after lying in bed for a while, they got bored. So they started drinking. I'm trying to help people in dire need, and the two of them are drinking with that cretin Elias.
They always have been thoughtless, but at least they were punished for it. Who is this Elias, anyway?
One of the ordinal monks who helps out here. He was the one who brought the booze. All three of them got friendly pretty fast. You know what they say about birds of a feather.
What kind of person is this Elias?
A timid kind of fellow.
And why is he being so hard on Fritz and Matthew? They're drowning in debt because of him, and it seems all they had was a small fight.
I don't know. He was the one who wanted to befriend them in the first place. I don't believe it's because of any property damage they did. It's got more to do with wounded pride.
Ah, toll.
And do you know what got between them?
I don't have a clue. One minute they're the best friends in the world, and then a lot of yelling and furniture flying around. They threw Fritz and Matthew out straight afterwards.
Thank you. That's all I need.
Okay, von ihm schon mal ordentlich Info gekriegt. Du! Ha!
And who are you?
Brother Elias.
I heard you had a fight with Fritz and Matthew.
Heathens.
So it was you they fought with?
Yes, it was me. And I hope I'll never have to see those wastrels again.
They deserve to be ousted, but the debt? How are they ever going to pay it?
I really don't care. Let them live in penury. Brutes.
Das ist eigentlich richtig hier. Und das ist genau der Punkt, weswegen ich aufs Beach gehe.
Isn't that a little unchristian? You wouldn't want personal spite to ruin their lives, would you?
Well, those were just idle threats, really. If they come and apologize, there's always a possibility of forgiveness.
What do you do here?
What I can. I'm just trying to help the Skalitz locals as much as I can.
How long have you been helping here?
Since before the refugees arrived. It was much less crowded back then.
Das denke ich mir.
And what do you do here exactly?
Mainly, I help Brother Nicodemus. Occasionally, I keep watch at night in case someone takes a turn for the worse. Sometimes I have to hold the patient down, or fetch and carry things.
Do you know anything about healing?
A little. I can manage the basics, but without Brother Nicodemus, I'd never be able to deal with the more difficult cases.
Okay.
Thank you.
Good luck to you.
Philip, from Skalitz. I don't see any wounds, but he's shaking terribly. He's not reacting. But all I can see that's wrong with him is his leg. I have to ask Johanka.
Ich glaube, Philipp war nicht mein Buddy, der dritte.
Everything here is fine?
Christ above! I can't get a wink of sleep.
What are you making such a fuss about?
A fuss? Because of my leg, I have to stay here for at least another week. Hurts like fuck. And with everyone else moaning and groaning all night, I can't get any sleep.
Too bad.
Why don't you go and lie somewhere else?
I can't. Not with this leg.
Maybe I can make you something to help you sleep.
Oh, then for God's sake, do it
Ey.
quickly. God be with you.
Was zur Hölle? Find something to help the insomniac fall asleep. Wie wär's, wenn ich den einfach aufhebe und mit dem irgendwo anders hingehe und den da hinlege? Anstatt irgendeinen Trank für den zu machen.
He just needs to sleep.
Quiet.
What the...
You're not from Skalitz?
No, but please help me. I can't stay here.
What happened to you?
I was working on the building when the scaffolding up by the roof collapsed underneath me.
Well, and you're very lucky you survived at all.
Yes, that's what everyone tells me. But it's no use being alive if all I can do is lie here like a wet sack of barley.
What's the problem? Why can't you stay until you heal?
I have a family. I'm poor. It's only thanks to the building work that we can survive. And the master told me if I don't come back in a few days, then I shouldn't come back at all. And where can me and my wife go then? Who'll take us in? We'll end up living in the woods, where any bandit or ruffian can set on us.
Das ist nicht gut.
Is there anything I can do to help? It looks like they took care of your wounds.
When I was little, my father got trampled on by a horse, and an old hag from the village gave him some kind of purple herbs for it. And he got better very quickly.
And do you remember what the herbs were?
I don't.
Drugs.
But there's supposed to be the whole cursed knowledge of the world in this place. Something has to be written about it. A herbarium. Anything.
I'll try to find something.
Gott sei
Thank you.
Dank.
Thank you.
Kann ich lesen.
Good luck to you.
What the?
You look alright?
Mostly, but my leg still hurts.
Did the humans wound you?
That's what I tell the ladies. Truth is, I did myself a mischief while I was running away.
And do they rebandage it for you?
Occasionally. They told me they don't have enough bandages.
Well, that's no use. Those bandages need changing. I'll get some.
I've got
May the
some.
Lord watch over you.
Und ich komme sowieso nicht dazu, 10! Ja klar, 10!
Everything here is fine. Everything here is fine. He'll be able to get out of this on his own.
Ja, wow. Puh, das ist... Nicodemus.
You're the one who's in charge of the wounded.
Yes, I'm the infirmarius here. Time was I only had a few elderly monks who couldn't walk to take care of. Now I have this mess to deal with.
Monks so old they can't hold themselves up with their own legs.
Oh, if that were the only bodily function they could control. But I shouldn't talk like that. It's a blessing to live to such an age.
Ai, 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 ai.
How about some potion to induce heavy sleep?
Certainly, the old reliable.
Reliable?
Some of the brothers like a good sleep, and sometimes that's the only way to get one. I'll show you how.
Thanks. How are the wounded from Skalitz?
Some of them are well taken care of, but others are dying here needlessly. It's a good thing we have Johanka here. I'd never be able to manage on my own.
How can I help you?
Have you talked to Johanka?
I did.
Well, if you know something about it, then go and take a look. However, you don't look like you've studied the Hippocratic arts.
That's true. I'm the son of a blacksmith, but I have been around the wounded before. What do I do if I'm not sure of the treatment?
Come and speak to me. We'll see what we can do.
So you don't normally treat the wounded then?
Well, there were accidents, of course. A broken leg, someone who'd been kicked by a cow or bitten by a goat. But this, I've never dealt with the carnage of battle before.
If only it had been a battle. This was cold-blooded slaughter.
You were there? God be merciful to you and the dead and the wounded.
What do you think about the custodian?
Baron von Berg? Well, he does his job well. He keeps us safe here. And the last time I saw him was when I was rubbing ointment on his rash.
I heard he's been here a lot lately.
Well, that's true. He comes to visit Johanka. But he's never here long, and he always leaves
I just can't.
unsatisfied.
Sucks to be him
Thank
then.
you. Why are they so badly provided for? People are crammed in next to each other, and some have to sleep outside. That can't be good for them. It gets freezing here at night.
I can't afford anything more for them.
How is that possible? You're the infirmarius. You decide how all the money gets spent.
But I have no say in how much money I'm given. And because the abbot's away,
Quiet.
it's still the same amount I had when I was taking care of a few old men.
Ah, ja.
And the local custodian? His crew has enough provisions.
I tried him, but it seems he had some disagreement with Johanka, and now he won't give us anything.
I'll try to talk to him. Can't you do anything? Won't the others help?
Unfortunately not. The brothers in the cloister aren't much interested in the external world, and the custodian has enough on his plate with the chaos in the region. Besides, his main concern is the smooth running of the monastery.
I can't believe your conscience lets you leave the Skalitz locals in such a state.
I know. I'm shamed. But my brothers believe it's all in God's hands now.
God is a little prick. That's all.
Even so, conditions here seem to me quite unchristian.
You're not the only one.
Do you know anything about herbs?
I'm not an expert, but I know a little something. Is it urgent?
Well, one of the workers who was injured during construction would like to get back to work. He mentioned some purple flowers that would...
Herbs.
Oh, purple herbs that should help.
I couldn't tell you off the top of my head, but you can have a look in the herbarium here. There won't be too many purple herbs for bruises and sprains.
What happened to Philip?
Philip?
He's unconscious. He's shivering and he has a fever.
Ah, I didn't know that. When he first came here, he was fine. No wounds on him. He was escorting the others. Then he got worse and worse until he lost consciousness entirely. Ask Johanka. Maybe she'll know more.
Ja, gut, werde ich tun. Jetzt gerade was lernen. Ist es lernen wie lernen?
I'd like to learn something from you.
And what can you do?
A bit of everything.
Can you now? But to be more precise.
To be honest, not really.
So what am I supposed to do with you? Well, never mind. At least go to the herb garden, take a good look at what's growing there, and then pull up the weeds in the herbaceous beds. Is that clear?
Ja.
Clear. I can get cracking.
Not so fast. Have I even told you what I consider a weed? It's dandelions, stinging nettles, and thistles. Those plants have their use, but they've no business growing among the euphrasia and the mentha, or anywhere else in that garden for that matter.
I see.
Once you've cleared the garden of weeds, come back, and woe betide you.
Don't worry, you've never had as good.
I just won't get any sleep.
Ja, genau, das ist noch eine gute
How do
Frage.
I know which are the weeds?
You see, this is the part where you learn something. Look in the herbarium to find out what a dandelion, stinging nettle...
Deal.
I see.
Okay, gut. Also das ist eine Menge Text, eine Menge Dialog und eine Menge neuer Stuff.